Good day, ma'am. I'm Mike Harold Atabello, and today's video I will be reporting about quarrying and the Philippine mining law. So, what is quarrying? Quarrying is a process of removing rock, sand, gravel, or other minerals from the ground in order to use them to produce materials for construction or other uses. There are kinds of mineral rocks taken from the quarries. Quarry is the place where dimension, stone, or aggregate, sand, gravel, crushed rock is mined. The product's dimension stone quarries are prismatic block of rock such as marble, granite, limestone, sandstone, and slate. There are methods used to remove rocks from the quarries. The first method is digging or excavating. Digging is a method where stones buried in earth or under loose overburden are excavated with pickaxes, crowbars, chisels, and hammers. The second method is wedging. This method is mainly used for the rock of sedimentary type which are comparatively soft such as sandstone, limestone, marble, slate, and laterite. In this method, first of all naturally occurring cracks or fissures are located in the rocks to be excavated. The steel wedges or points are then driven with the help of hammer. In hammer fissures or cracks and stones are detached. The split out block of stone can be converted into marketable forms and supplied to the users. The third method is heating. Heating is most suitable for quarrying small, thin, and regular blocks of stone from rocks such as granite. A heap of fuel is piled and spread on the surface of rock in small area. The two consecutive layers of the rocks separate because of uneven expansion of the two layers. The loosened rock portions are broken into pieces of desired size and are removed with the help of pickaxes and crowbars. Stone blocks so obtained are very suitable for coarse rubble masonry. Sometimes, intermediate layers are to be separated from the top and bottom layers. In such a case, the intermediate layer is held electrically and the expansion separates it from the other two. The fourth method is quarrying with channeling machine. The process consists of the following steps. The channels are cut around the stone block which is to be removed from the rock mass. The horizontal holes are drilled beneath the block. The wedges are driven into holes and the block is then broken loose from its bed. The process of separation of stone from the rock mass is almost invariably employed in the case of limestones, marbles, and other soft sandstones. It is possible to separate very large blocks of stones from the rocks by the application of this method. The fifth method is blasting. In this method, the explosives are used to convert rocks into small pieces of stones. This method is used when the stone to be excavated is of very hard variety and it has no cracks or fissures at all. Moreover, if stone is to be excavated on very large scale, blasting method will have to be adopted. No definite size blocks can be excavated by this method. After blasting, the excavated stone is sorted out in different sizes categories. Explosives such as blasting powder, blasting cotton, dynamite, and cordite are used. The operations involved are boring, charging, tamping, and pining. And this is the next is the list of the large quarries located in our country. These quarries mine coal. The open pit mine in Toledo, Cebu, the Malangas Coal Reservation in Malangas, Zamboanga, Sibugay, the Pinyan open pit mine in Semirara Island, Kaluya, Antique, and these quarries mine copper. The Bayungan mine in Surigao del Norte. Next is gold, the Canatuan mine in Zamboanga del Norte, and last is the nickel mine by the Rio Tuba mine, Batarasa in Palawan. How quarrying activities affect the environment and human settlements? Quarrying are bad for the environment in several ways because they abruptly interrupt the continuity of open space, ruining habitats for flora and fauna, causes soil erosions, air and dust pollutions, damage to caves, loss of land and deterioration of water quality that will lead high health-related problems and loss of biodiversity. Why are there still quarrying activities of in remote areas which cause so much damage in our mountains and hillsides? The main reasons of this problem is because of the lack of action from the government. It is very obvious because many people are abusing it. The Philippine Mining Law Section 4, Ownership and Mineral Resources. Mineral resources are owned by the state, and the exploration, development, utilization, and processing thereof shall be under its full control and supervision. The state may directly undertake such activities or it may enter into mineral agreements with contractors. The state shall recognize and protect the rights of the indigenous cultural communities to their ancestral lands as provided by the Constitution. This section tells that the combined efforts of the government and the private sector in order to enhance national growth in a way that effectively safeguards the environment and protect the rights of affected communities like the indigenous people. Philippine Mining Law Section 16. Section 16, Opening of ancestral lands for mining operations. No ancestral lands shall be open for mining operation without the prior consent of the indigenous cultural community concerned. It says that no mining company should mine ancestral lands without prior consent because ancestral lands are very important for the indigenous community. They have history in their land and they conserve unique biodiversity that help nature to grow continuously. Section 43, Quarry Permit. Any qualified person may apply to the Provincial Mining Regulatory Board for a quarry permit on privately owned lands and or public lands for building and construction. Materials such as marble, basalt, andesite, conglomerate, tuff, adobe granite, and etc. And this section, and I think the government should not literally give permit to any qualified person to mine such area because miners must have a bad intentions in that place, so they must not can give a permit to any person. Section 62, Employment of Filipinos. A contractor shall give preferences to the Filipino citizens in all types of mining employment within the country insofar as such citizens are qualified to perform the corresponding work with reasonable efficiency and without hazard to the safety of the operations. The contractor, however, shall not be hindered from hiring employees of its own selection, subject to the provision of Commonwealth Act No. 613 as amended for technical and specialized work which in its judgments and with the approval of the director requires highly specialized training or long experience in exploration. This section is good for Filipinos because it is just right for the contractor to employ Filipino people who have technical and high specialized work for mining. And Section 63 of the Philippine Mining Law, Mines and Safety and Environmental Protection. All contractors and permittees shall strictly comply with all the mine safety rules and regulations as may be promulgated by the Secretary concerning the safe and sanitary upkeep of the mining operations and achieved waste-free and efficient mine development. And this section is it is just rights for the contractors to comply with safety protocols to prevent accident when working in the mines. And Philippine Mining Law Section 72, Timber Rights. Any provision of the law contrary notwithstanding, a contractor may be granted the right to cut trees or timber within his mining areas as may be necessary for his mining operations subject to forestry laws rules and regulations. This section, timber rights, um, allow an individual to own all or part of the trees on a property without actually owning the ground where they grow, and this can lead to some interesting title insurance questions. Philippine Mining Law Section 85, Mine Waste and Tailing Fees. A semi-annual fee to be known as mine waste and tailing fees is hereby imposed on all operating mining companies in accordance with the implementing rules and regulations. The mine waste and tailings fee shall accrue to a reserve fund to be used exclusively for payments for damage to lives and personal safety. Um, the Secretary is authorized to increase mine waste and tailings fees when public interest so requires upon the recommendation of the Director. And that will be all. Thank you for listening to my report.